Right, and we are live. Hey everybody, I'm Stuart and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights to company owners operating within this lucrative multi-level marketing space. I'd like to thank our sponsors NetReady for making this episode possible. In this episode, we're going to be speaking about how you move from becoming an MLM newbie to a marketing machine. And here to help me unpack that information is a good friend and mentor of mine. He has 35 years experience in this space. His name is Richard Sletcher.
Hey, nice to see you again.
You good?
Yep.
Awesome.
I got another few weeks of wearing my red shirt.
I mean, you've ironed it again. We're not going to have the hiker comment, your wife. We're not going to say it like last episode. Okay.
She's in Australia.
She needs to come back, Richard.
Yesterday, you can say that again.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you that.
Wait for my birthday, wait for our 25th anniversary. I mean, what the hell?
It was your birthday the other day.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I didn't say it on the last episode, but
it
there
was
we
my
go.
41st anniversary of my 21st birthday.
That is brilliant. Can I use that?
Yes, it's
Okay.
yours.
Everyone out there, you can use that as well. But then you have to just thank Richard afterwards. So I love the theme for this episode, which is MLM newbie to marketing machine. And what we want to do here is identify how to move from a newbie, not knowing anything about this business, its products, its processes, to 6 weeks later being an absolute marketing machine.
Yes.
So let's talk about those 6 weeks. So I'm gonna go through them a week at a time, and then let's just discuss them. Okay. So week number 1 is getting the people into business. They've just been recruited. What do we need to do? We need to train them. Yeah. Now, what does that training look like? How extensive is that, and what are we speaking about?
Look, it's first step training. So you want it to be very, very simple. And you want to make sure that you show them. I think the first thing is to show them how to sell the product. Because if the product is not being sold, then nobody's making money. And also, if I can't sell the product, how can I teach you to sell the product?
Sure. Yep.
So I think your first steps course should be week 1, let's go out and find a couple of customers. That's all. Mm-hmm. You know, it can be your friend, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, whatever. Let's go and find a couple of customers.
Sure.
Once you've found a couple of customers, 2 things happen. You earn some money, which is like key.
Great. Yeah.
That's a big retention marker. Mm-hmm. And you develop some belief because somebody bought the product from you.
Yeah.
And now you believe that the product will sell. And that belief is a huge part of retaining your people.
Okay. In terms of training on compensation, I mean, the compensation plan, 99% of the network, as we know, they don't understand the full plan. So in terms of training, is it advisable for company owners to give next steps of what you need to achieve to move through the business?
In week 1, all you want to know is, if I sell a product, how much do I make?
Right.
That's all you actually want to know in week 1. Because right now, understanding the compensation plan is so far down the road.
Yeah.
So you would have been shown the compensation plan, and the idea of that presentation is to bring it home that, listen, if you run this business right, over time, you can earn a lot of money in it. That's the goal of showing the compensation plan. Now you set the compensation plan aside and you just want to focus on next steps. So how much can I earn in retail commission right now?
Nice.
That's what you want. So let's go out, find a couple of customers. Let's earn some retail commission. Fantastic. We've now put some money in our bank. We've sold some product. We're excited. We take the next step.
Okay. So training on how to sell this product, education around it, the features, the benefits, whatever it is. Week number 2 is doing exactly that, which is going out and getting those customers.
Exactly.
So the key is to, and we've said this before, find your 2.
So you do that in week 2.
So we'll go training in week 1. People need to understand everything about this product in order for them to sell it effectively to customers.
And so how would you go about that training? What is your kind of process there?
Well, video training is optimal. We cannot effectively train people because they are all over the country. So what video material does, and we know this from stats, 17 times greater consumption through video content than it is through written material. So for company owners, it is advisable to stick the training into video format, upload it to the distributor's back office where they can go through that course content. A nice idea is that if your software offers the functionality of being able to test you on the content that you've just learned, then we know you're validating yourself on this information, that it actually sits inside of you.
Yeah.
so that you're not just speaking product, you're speaking about that product and why it is good for that customer. Now,
and some in-person training if possible.
Of course. I mean, it would be great if you can sit with your upline. The upline can come in with you and meet with customers to show you exactly how the pitch goes, if there's a process to presenting the product and then eventually closing.
And so I suppose for your upline, what I would be recommending there is step number 1, watch the video with your new person. You can do it via Zoom or whatever. Then have some sort of Q&A process where either the person does an online quiz or you do a Q&A with the person to see if they actually understand the business.
Sure.
And then the next thing was, what are the action steps? And what do we need to do now to take action?
Exactly right. So then let's move into week number 2, which is getting those customers. You understand the product, you understand how to sell the product, and even bringing your upline into that again, because this process does take time. You can't become a sales professional on that product in 1 week, but the foundation for your training is there. So bring that your upline member in, meet with the customer. They can support you. They can edify you through the whole process, which only boosts the opportunity of selling that product.
And gives me recognition if I sell it.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Richard, well done. Thank you so much for bringing me into this meeting. You pitched perfectly to that customer and you made the sale. What I would do is work on a couple of these elements. What's worked very well for me is this, this, and this. And then you'll become an optimal salesperson, because the first thing that we need to do when joining this business is be able to sell product.
Yes.
Before being able to go out and build teams, because you need to teach them how to sell their product, you need to have an understanding yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%.
So week number 2 in summary is get 2 customers, because we want to start seeing commissions uploaded to our back office, knowing that we're going to get a payout at the end of the month when the commission run happens. Week number 3 is then go out and recruit your 2 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to repeat that process. The best would be if you could recruit people in your direct vicinity so that you can work directly with them. That's the number 1 first prize.
As in location-wise?
Location-wise.
Okay.
Because if you can get somebody in your area, you can work with them. You can go and sit with them. You can actually have coffee with them. You can actually help build them up. If they are 1,000 kilometers away from you, it's really difficult, because now you're doing it through Zoom and you're not there. It makes it a lot more difficult. So your first couple of people would be ideal if you sign them up in your area and then work with them directly. And do the same things you learned in week 1 and 2, you need to be doing with them in their first 2 weeks.
Yeah. I love, just a side note to bring it back to the training, is the whole, I've introduced you to the business. When we go to a customer, this goes back to the week 1 training, is that we'll sit and you'll watch me do it. And then the next time we sit together, we will do it together and we'll pitch to the customer. And then the third time, I'll watch you on all the training we've gone through and you'll do it. And that process, because it's very easy to sit back and listen to someone telling you how to do this. But to put that learning into practice, as we know, I mean, we've this year we've gone through a whole bunch of training with a lot of people, and we've trained them effectively and efficiently, so we thought. But to put that learning into play, very different ballgame.
Yeah. So I do it, you watch. We do it together. You do it, I laugh. I mean, watch.
Yes.
And then you do it.
I think the laughing did happen when you were training me.
I don't blame you.
Okay, so let's recap on week 3, which is recruit those 2 people. The week 4 is help them go through the training themselves on the products.
Yes.
Okay, so you need to take the training that you've just gone through in week 1 and implement and help them go through that course
with
of training.
their people.
Exactly right. Go through what we just spoke about now. Is you sit with them, you do it together, and then you laugh, watch.
Yes, exactly, and
right.
they do it.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
And that's how we start building our team. Now, if we just go out with a shotgun approach and start recruiting all these people, but not effectively training them, giving them an induction to the business, how to sell the products, how to then train your people, then what are we doing?
Creating churn.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so that is critically important. You are better off building a slow and steady than trying to ramp this thing up fast. Because we've seen companies, they go out there 6 months down the road, they've got 100,000 people, and then another 6 months down the road, and the business is completely crashed because everybody's just running on adrenaline, but nobody actually understands the business. And so if you want a business to last and you want to absolutely have very little churn, then you've got to go about it this way. Your 6-week program, you've got to go about it this way, and make sure that the training and the setting the examples happens during that. So we're in week 4 now, which is help your people teach their people.
Yes. Just another side note there. I mean, the dream for all company owners is to just hit that exponential growth period. But if you're doing it too quickly and you're not implementing these steps, then you're just going to crash.
Well, you get a bell.
You get a bell, which is the last thing that we want.
So what you want to do is you want to hit critical mass. It's called critical mass with about 2,000 people. But it's not just 2,000 people. It's 2,000 well-trained, engaged people.
Right.
If you can hit your critical mass at 2,000 engaged, well-trained people, then you will see your business will do an S. So it will grow very, very steeply. At some point, it reaches basically your
stabilizing point.
A stabilized volume.
Yeah.
And then it sort of taps off. I mean, no, it's impossible. It cannot grow forever. You run out of people, you run out of whatever. So you have an S curve. The idea is that the training you do in the beginning, the mechanisms you put in to start with, is what stops it going into a bell, what keeps it in an S. So that's really critical that you go through these processes with your people and get them to go through those processes with their people.
And we were speaking about 6 weeks here. You know, this could take a little bit more time with your people to really build a solid foundation of those 2,000. And company owners shouldn't be in a rush to hit critical mass in month number 2 because it will not be sustainable.
100%.
Okay, let's go into week number 5, which is developing your people to then go out and recruit their 2 people. So now we're starting to build a team. So we've gone from 1 to 3 to now 7. And this is starting to become a team structure that you as a leader need to look after your people and help them become greater leaders for theirs.
Yeah, and so there's 2 things that I would be training my people about here. Number 1, you don't want 100 people in your team because you can't look after 100 people.
Of course not.
So your job should not be going out and beating the bush and recruiting everybody that's in play. The second thing is you don't want to be giving people away. So if you recruit somebody, you're not putting them into somebody else's team. So the idea is the best is to recruit 2 people and then help those people be successful by signing up their people, not by you giving them people. Now, you might recruit 4 or 5 people. 2 of them are actually willing to do the work and you're working with those 2 people. But at the end of the day, what you're wanting to do is create stability in your business because the companies who pay, the people who rise to the top of companies don't rise there because they can bring in 1,000 people.
Yeah.
They get to the top because they can bring in 10 people and train those 10 people to do the same.
Brilliant.
And so if you don't teach your people how to build stable leadership, then the business doesn't have stability and that person will never rise to the top ranks in the business. So it's very, very important that part of the training is teaching your people the importance of training their people.
Yeah. You cannot rise to the top by yourself. And you cannot rise to the top with having a team that's untrained, that you've just thrown mud against the wall. A couple have sticked and you started building a team, but that will collapse beneath you.
A couple have sticked.
Sticked.
Stuck.
Sticked. Where did I school?
I don't know. Where did you go to school? You're really going well, hey?
Let's move on to week 6. Now, week 6 is when you become this marketing machine. You've gone through the whole process. You've done your training, week number 1. You've got your 2 customers, week number 2. You've helped. What is week number 3? You've recruited your 2 people. Yeah. Your week number 4 is you've trained your people. Week number 5, you've helped your 2 people start building their teams in a solid foundation of trained up people with you as offering great leadership. And then week number 6 is becoming this marketing machine where you understand how to sell, you understand how to recruit and train, and then you also understand how to use the company tools, social media posts, your Zoom platforms, everything that needs you to go out there, activate customers and distributors to then go out and build your business.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And if you do that with every one of your people, your business will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that with every one of your people, you would have to practice to fail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it. MLM newbie to marketing machine.
Perfect.
How epic is that? Thanks,
That's
Richard.
awesome.
Guys out there, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you joining us for this episode. I'd like to once again thank NetReady, our sponsors, for making this episode possible in this incredible studio. Please follow us on all of our MLM for CEOs channels. We're on YouTube. We're also on LinkedIn. And listen to us on Spotify. We will see you next week. Cheers. Bye.